Alright guys, welcome back. We are watching Mushoku Tensei, Season 1, Episode 10. Last time, we're in the demon continent now. We gotta get back, somehow. It seems like it's gonna be a long journey, if I had to guess. We met Rougeard, who's a great guy. He's a spared, and he is very much not like the things we've heard about the spareds in the first, episodes, you know? He wants to fight against that reputation and stuff, which is interesting. He certainly does seem to have maybe a bit of a murderous streak, but maybe that makes sense with like the environment that they're all living in and stuff. It does not seem like the demon continent is that great, you know. It feels like that kind of place where you might have to carry yourself in that way, right? Rudy has had a talk with the man god, who I do not trust even a little bit. Um, I guess the advice he gave Rudius feels like it's working out, you know? Like, I want to say that we should trust Rougeard and that's gonna be, that's gonna help and that's gonna be good, but I don't know. I don't trust him at all. We met Roxy's parents, which was, very nice, very cute. Rudius does not get to call them his parents-in-law. At least not yet. I mean, you never know, I suppose. Um, yeah, I guess we'll just get started. So, we're on episode 10. You can line your copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Oh. Right. God, she's awesome, huh? Oh my god. She's like never had the opportunity to like actually use her sword skill before. Oh god, that cannot taste good. Right. I guess. I can see it. Oh god, don't. I just don't. Eat some of the meat. Why are we eating this? Oh. Yeah, I don't like that. I guess, it makes sense for Eris. Like, the whole noble life was so stifling for her, you know? Ooh, what do we got? Oh. Oh my god. It's those cliffs. How tall are those? Hikarisu. Like, ridiculously huge cliffs. Like, that is insane. Ooh, here's our entrance. With guards. Lots of different looking demons. Dead End. Hmm. Eris, you can't say that. Right. Yeah. It's interesting that both of those tribes look like so, like, humanoid, I guess. What? Oh god. I mean, we said that. I guess we said he can't go into cities, so yeah. To that shot. Sure, that can't be that bad. Why? No, you can't. There's. I guess. I love Eris. I love her just like screaming everything she says. Hmm? Blue? Like paint? Disguise him, perhaps? Maybe. Would that work? Hmm. Covering up his staff. From Midgard Village. Oh, his hair is blue. I see. You could see it there. Yeah. Oh, the song. Makes sense. Oh, look at this. So yeah, I mean there are cities and stuff. It's a horrid environment, but there's still civilization. Oh, what is that? Like I don't know, something. Oh, yeah, the like cave, like painting looking stuff. I don't even know. It kind of looks like what we saw in the last episode on like the cliff wall. Oh. Everyone eats insects around here. Rudius is gonna struggle. Oh. Oh, I like the song. Do we have money? Uh-oh. Oh, it's a big city, huh? Lots of people. What the hell is that? Are those buildings, or is that some kind of weird, like, crystalline structure? I can't even tell. Okay. Sure, sure. A little bit different than the cushy noble life. Yeah, he's blue now. He's a Miggard, yeah. Oh, money. So, oh, though, is that the... Oh, so they gave him money. Rudius in the last episode. Okay. What is going on in here? I assume that's money. What are we doing? What are we doing? Rudius, I don't like the hair. I... This can't be a good approach. Immediately loses his nerve. Mm-hmm. It's... Oh, God. Oh, no. What are we doing? Oh, they put the necklace on him, too. I see. They're gonna believe you, right? Is that the whole... What are we doing? I guess. Is this a way to improve Rugier's reputation? Exactly. God. Okay, yeah, that was the plan. Right, of course. What are we doing? Right. Ah. What is... Rudius, calm down. Hmm. Oh, God, it's like a classic Adventurers Guild, huh? It's Rudius. Pay attention. Oh, he's like really... Yeah. Really, like, holding on to his spear. Is it really getting to him like that? Huh. Oh, the jobs we can do? I assume it's in Demon, yeah. That is annoying. What kind of jobs can you do? Oh, God. What? Hi, horse guy. I don't like this. Maybe. Maybe that'd be a good job. Ooh. Okay. Hmm. Like, fuck off. Like, hello. Oh, God. Richard, I... We gotta remain calm, right? Like, oh. God. And just because they don't think he's a spare, that means they're just gonna treat him like this. Like, God. I mean, Rudius made them all, seem ridiculous, so. Oh, the sun setting over the cliffs, yeah. I I don't think we're doing that. Ever. Right, right. Ah, but under, like, false pretenses. I suppose, but no one thinks he's a spared. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he feels about it. Oh, what the hell? Through like, yeah, holes in the cliffs or in the city? What an insane city, you know? Like, unbelievable. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know how Ruijerd feels, right? Does this really feel like a step in the right direction? Ah, another group. Oh, she does not speak the same language. Oh God. It's Eris. Stop. What are we doing? Oh my God. Girl, what are we doing? Yeah. What? My God. Girl, you gotta chill out. Yeah, I guess it's uncomfortable. I mean, I get that, but hmm. Dead end. It's so lame. God. Right. And maybe, you never know. The Tokurabu Tufts. Right. I see. It's Eris. Calm down, please. It's fine. Oh my God, she reacted so violently, like immediately, you know? I mean, I guess she does that, like with Rudius, it's just I really. I mean, I guess that makes sense. An inn is probably expensive to stay in every night. Ooh, yeah. A different kind of first job than the one. Oh, hi there, man god. Yeah. Oh God. I guess. It feels like we were being led down a path here, you know? Right? I don't have any faith in you at all. Go for it, I guess. Like, what is wrong with him? Ooh. I guess. I suppose. It's like he's trying to make Rudius, like, reliant on him, right? To, like, trust him. Really. That is a very vague tip, that's for sure. Your worries will be at an end? Huh. Yeah. Oh, Eris is awake. Can't sleep? Probably. I mean, it's probably, like, sinking in. Like, the real situation we're in. Oh, so pretty, the sky. Oh. Oh, I hope. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, we're finding the cat. Hmm. Oh, he can sense it with his third eye? Right. Is Czar there? I don't see any. Yeah. That experienced, huh? I don't like the sounds going on down there. Oh no. I'm worried about the lost cat. Okay, they're alive, I guess. Yeah. Oh. What is in that cage? Oh. Is that the cat? That is, yeah. Maybe in the demon continent. That's sure. Yeah, exactly. That's just a normal pet. Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Ooh. Like, just what are they doing with them? Just, oh god. What is wrong with you? Oh, Rudius. Haven't used that one in a while. Oh god. Okay. That was easy. Right. Impressive. Oh, the shadows on his face. Hmm. Oh, don't. Oh god. Oh, right in the stomach. Oh, god. Yeah. Oh, what just happened? Really? Rougerd? Oh my god. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess. Oh, he was evil. Man, I mean, it's like Rudy's reaction with the Ghislaine stuff. Yeah, what is that reason? I, I guess. Man. Huh. Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's a whole lot different of a thing than that. Eris doesn't think it's like a big deal either compared to Rudius, right? Oh, huh. Because it is just, I mean, I guess it's just much more of a commonplace thing. Ooh, yeah. Oh god. Oh no. Now we've got to kill him. Okay. Oh, his eye. It's, oh, right. What a stupid operation. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah. I mean, the answer can't be just kill them, right? Ooh, D. Is there some way we can use that to rank up ourselves? Can we take over their party? Hmm. Okay. Because we want to be able to take on better jobs, right? Oh, that face. Hmm. God. Eris. I suppose. Hmm. Yeah. Doesn't mean you deserve death, but. Right. Yeah. Some people would say what you're doing is evil right now. Oh. I feel like there's so much in that. Rudius's face during that too. Like keeps being hidden. Okay. Oh. Huh. I think there was a lot to like Eris's attitude there. That's all we got. How much is that? And don't be so happy, Eris. Come on. Okay. Ah, and what will do it? We'll switch jobs? Yeah, I assume that is not allowed. Okay. Well, spread it for good reasons, yeah. Ooh. Rudius's attitude is so... Oh, this guy. Oh. Oh, I don't like this guy. Is that a hot take? He, intimidates me. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Hmm. I feel like the demon language, like, fits that guy so much. Oh, that's the end of the episode. Okay. Value of life in the first job. Okay, okay. Huh. The episodes feel much less, like, I guess, episodic than they were before, you know? Like, we got a whole arc ahead of us, it feels, you know? Hmm. I think there's a lot to think about in this episode. Just mainly like Eris and Rudius' attitude about stuff, I guess. Like just I don't know, Eris's whole thing there when she was yelling at Rugierd. I think like there's the way that she's being like so reliant on Rudius and saying like everything will work out because of him and all of this. I don't know. And her saying he's doing it all for them. I don't know, what are Rudius's like thoughts? Because his face was like it felt very intentionally hidden during all of that, or like he was very much like looking down and not. I don't know. I don't know. How does he react to hearing someone say that? I guess about him. Hmm. Next time, children and warriors, huh? Children and warriors. I see. Makes me think about Rougerd and the way he, like, what he was saying in the last episode of them just being children and, like, what that means. Okay, we'll talk about the episode in the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. That was a good episode. I really like the I guess like the world building that we're doing, I suppose, in this episode. The city is so cool. It's like absurd, right? These cliffs. Where's that shot of the cliffs that surround the city? Because I mean, it is literally like what are we looking at, right? There's like this panning shot where we're already standing on like these giant, crazy, like I don't even know. These are kind of cliffs themselves, and then it's just what are we even looking at? What are we even looking at? How tall are these things, right? Like, can we even see? No, we can't even see. Oh, there they are. Like, these are like a mile tall. Like, I don't even understand how this happens, right? And it surrounds this entire city. Was there like a giant explosion here or something? Like, how does this even form? Right? Just crazy, crazy. And then at night, I think it was really cool. Like they show us the sun like setting over the cliff face, and then there's like all the holes that like the I guess like the night sky like streams in through. It's so cool. It's such a cool city. Um Lots of stuff to think about in this episode. I've been trying to figure out like how I even want to approach it, but I guess we'll try and figure it out while we talk about it. It feels like a comparison that to me is being made is Rouger's attitude about wanting to redeem himself in a sense and like, improve the attitude that people have towards the Sparrows and all of that compared to like Rudius's whole thing, right? Like Rudius trying to change and be a better person and all of that, right? That feels like a pretty obvious comparison to make, right? This whole scene here, this like tense argument between Rugier and Rudius with Eris yelling and screaming halfway through. Um I don't know. It makes me think about all that, I suppose, right? Like Rudius's attitude about it, Rudius saying that we'll do all this stuff where we also improve the Spare's reputation, while it feels like earlier in the episode, Rugier was having like he wasn't really liking the strategy that Rudius was using, right? It felt like it really rubbed him the wrong way in a sense, probably because he's like he's pretending to not even be a spared, and that's something that matters so much to him. He seems like a very Rougeard seems like a very like principled, like strongly principled person, right? Like he has this very strong sense of what he thinks is good and evil, and he does not want to go against that at all. And that is the path through which he wants to try and improve the Spared's reputation, right? Rudius, in the way that he thinks about like improving himself as a person and like changing and all of that, is different, right? Obviously, their circumstances are different because as it is now, Rougeard is kind of, I mean, in like a very broad sense, you could say, more so in a position that like Rudius was in his previous life, where the important thing is the way that other people like view him, right? Uh, for Rougeard, it's the way everyone hates him by default and is so biased against him because of all the stories told about the Spirit and all of that across seemingly like the whole globe, right? Whereas for Rudius now, uh, he doesn't have to deal with that kind of thing exactly, right? Through hard work that he has put in, right? Many people that Rudius is close with view him as someone who's very impressive. Like Eris says as much in this conversation, and I think Rudius's reaction to it is something to think about. Um, he doesn't have to deal with that same thing. He's in a different position than Rougeard is in, I suppose, right? Rougeard doesn't want to abandon the like his principles. He doesn't want to abandon what he views as his like strong morals here, which it's such an interesting thing because Rougeard is the one who just killed somebody, and Rudius is telling him that that's not okay. But what causes the conflict is Rudius saying that we can work with these people, and Rougeard says, "Oh, but they're evil. We shouldn't do that," right? Um, I don't know. It definitely it paints some kind of picture of the way that both of them engage with this idea differently, I suppose, right? Like I think for Rugierd, right? Where do you think his system, his idea of like the strong like sense of justice, I suppose he has, and what he thinks of like, refusing to work with anything he thinks of being evil, punishing people that are evil by killing that guy instantly, all of that, right? Where do you think that sense for him like comes from? Probably because, as Eris brings it up in a moment, the horrible things that happened in his past, right? The guilt he feels over what happened with his son and everything that happened in the war back then that led to the Spirit having such a terrible reputation. Uh, that's probably a large part, or maybe even the whole part, of why he has this attitude towards that, right? He feels like he has to do everything he can to define himself as like everything different from that whole idea, right? He has to be someone who is very strongly opposed to evil in every imaginable way, right? Because that's how people look at him and they automatically think, oh, you're an evil, terrifying monster who's going to kill me and my whole family, right? So it's like working in that framework at all, even working with these guys who are just like kidnapping some pets, right? That's too much for him, because that's almost like, I guess I mean, it wouldn't be proving anyone right about him, of course, but it would be such an easy way to think about it in that way, right? That every action he takes has to be working against that preconception that people have of him, that way that other people view him, thinking that he's evil, all of that, right? I think that's interesting compared to Rudius, because Rudius, ever since he's been in this world, like, I guess in Rudius's previous life, it feels like his attitude towards that kind of thing, which I think it was in a way shaped by that, or at least his imagination of what it would be like. What I'm trying to say here, I feel like I'm getting off topic, is in Rudius's previous life, he stayed in his room forever, right? And a large obstacle for why he wouldn't leave his room, the struggles that he had in like the first few episodes here to like get out of the house and all that with Roxy, is because he's afraid of what he'll see, right? He's afraid other people will bully him, people will think such horrible things about him. Like once he stayed in his room for the first 10 years or something. By that point, like imagine him trying to step out of his room then, like what would other people think? What would other people feel, right? It really gets into your head. It becomes this obstacle to like improving yourself because you think you're already so far gone and all of that, right? I think that's been Rudy's attitude about himself since, a long time. In this world, he views his new life as a way to improve himself, as a way to change all of that. That whole speech he gave to himself at the end of episode 1, right? Um, and people's attitude towards him has certainly changed in this world, right? He doesn't have to face that. So many people, again, view him as someone who is impressive and rely on him so much and think of him as someone who's very, very smart and very, it's all of these things. He really gets that external affirmation. Rugierd is not in that position at all, right? Rugierd, it's like he is actively fighting against those things, right? Everyone views him as some horrible monster and all of this, right? Which I suppose is a position that Rudius has never really been in a way, because he kind of, in a sense, got like a free ticket out of that with his new life here, right? He had the opportunity to start over, and he has the opportunity in this new world to, make an entirely new version of himself, right? He didn't have to actually step out of his room and face all of those things that made it so hard for him to walk out in the first place. He has to now in this world, right? He has to engage with all of those things, but he gets a fresh start, right? Rougeau doesn't. Rougeau doesn't at all. He's not gonna have that. He's and I think the attitude he has, this extremely like strong sense of justice and all of that, and something that feels like it so much comes from like within himself, feeling like he has to alone have that attitude to try and prove people wrong, I suppose. Um, it just feels it feels very noteworthy, I suppose. Just the differences between them and their attitude about that kind of thing. I guess I don't really know what else to say about it. So I guess I feel like I've been trying to lead all of this up towards something, but I don't know. I just think that's very much. It feels like that's what we're meant to think about, right? Is the way that they're both engaging with what is, on the surface at least, a similar issue, and the way that they're different because of that. I guess Rudius being willing to use like these kind of, I wouldn't say like underhanded things, but um Earlier in the episode, once we started this whole blue hair Rugyard thing to like hide his identity as a spared, it feels like Rugyard is like uncomfortable with that. Like when all the people were laughing at him in the at the bar place at the tavern, I guess. He like there's the shot of him like gripping his spear really hard. It feels like it really gets to him, right? It really gets to him because it's like this. I wonder if he views it almost as like a betrayal in and of itself to act like that, right? Like, Rudius tries to tell him, with time, this will help improve the spirit reputation, but that's probably hard to believe. Uh, yeah, because we're pretending he's a Migard, right? How is that even gonna improve the spirit reputation, Like he looks down at that, he thinks about it. I don't know. How do you think Rougeau feels about that? I suppose. I guess that's just the point, I guess. I feel like there's so much you can think about it. Really, there's so much more to it, honestly, right? It makes me think about Rudius's like sense of self and how he, in the man god area, still views himself and thinks of himself as his previous life, as himself from his previous life, right? So does Rudius now, he doesn't think of himself as Rudius really yet, right? He still thinks of himself as that old life version, right? So like does he view like being Rudius almost in a similar sense in a way to like the way that Rougeard is currently feeling about having to put on this disguise of being a Migard, right? And like the discomfort that clearly causes Rougeard, whereas for Rudius it's a good thing, right? Like he was so uncomfortable. We get all of these horrible self-hating thoughts he has about his old body and his old self and all of this, right? For him, it's like this sense of comfort that he can now view himself as someone different and be someone different and all of that. I don't know. I feel like there's so much to it. I feel like there's so much to it to think about those things. There's so many connections like that in this episode between Rudius and his situation and Rougeard. I feel like that I don't know if you guys have anything more to say about that. I think it'd be interesting to hear because I feel like there has to be so much more to it that like I'm not even gonna pick up on. That just is interesting to think about, right? Anyway, so we started the episode with this crazy, crazy sequence of Eris mowing down all these like horrifying wolf monster things. I don't blame her for loving the situation in a way, right? Like she finally gets to actually use her swordsmanship for like a real purpose. She doesn't just have to like spar with Ghislaine, right? So it probably feels so good to like actually just like let loose and use that, right? It probably great. And she's loving it. She's loving the traveler adventurer life, right? She wanted this. This is why she looked up to Ghislaine so much. It probably feels so freeing, right? Because of the stifling life that it felt like she had, all the pressure and the expectations of like being a noble and all of that stuff. At the same time, we get a somber moment later in the episode with her, being unable to sleep, sitting in the inn, wondering if we'll be able to get back. Kind of wondering, like she says, like, will Ghislaine and grandfather be okay too? It's like, she wants it to not be gone. She doesn't want all of her old life, the everything back at the mansion, the manor, or whatever you want to call it, to just be over, right? No matter how enjoyable this is in the moments, right? So I don't know. I wonder if she'll be able if days like that ever will return. I worry that they won't, and I wonder how she will deal with that when the time comes, I suppose, right? There's another like parallel, I guess, if you want to call it that, to this whole situation, which is like Rudius struggling so much to try and get Eris home. That feels like his real motivation here, right? For one, it's interesting that he thinks of it in those terms, because Rudius, you got to get home too, right? Don't you want to see your family? Don't you want to see Paul and Zenith and everyone? It's not just an Eris thing. Um, but it also just makes you think like about Rudius's whole situation with being isekai'd and all of that. This feels like a parallel to that, right? Like yet again, we've been teleported to someone very far away. We're still in the same world, I guess, right? But in this case, he's so focused on trying to get Eris back. I don't know. It just makes me think about his situation and like not, obviously he didn't think for a moment about wanting to go back to Japan, of course, right? But and in the same case, it's like he's not really letting himself think about his family. It feels right about Paul and Zenith and all of them. He feels so focused on getting Eris back instead of focusing on himself. I think that's an interesting thing to think about. I suppose we got to eat maggots. What? Eat some of the meat. Are you telling me Eris is gonna eat this entire thing? It's like, what are we talking about? It's like, come on, God. So many shots of the stars. The stars look so beautiful. I just can't even imagine, you know? Like, I've never really been in a place where you can see the stars like super well. I've always kind of lived in like urban areas, so I've never really seen like the real like night sky. It's always something to think about how for thousands and thousands and thousands of years before we had artificial lighting everywhere, that's what the night sky looked like everywhere on the entire planet every night. It's, like it's not surprising that like so many like ancient societies had like such myths about the stars and everything. It must have seemed so crazy compared to now. Anyway, here we are, the giant crazy city, the city of Rikarisu, which, so I was thinking about this name. I went back to check at episode 8. The the purple hair demon girl who says she's like the leader of the demons, whatever. Her crazy rambling, even though there's no one with her, right? Her name was Kishirika Kishirisu, right? Which is that's like Rika Grisu, right? Um, Interesting how that's like part of her name. What could that mean? That could just mean she was like born here, that's some kind of connection to this city or something. Or it could mean that she was telling the truth, and that really like the city is named after her. And she really is like the god of the demons in some way, right? Her crazy rambling about all of that. So something to think about, I guess. Anyway, apparently Rougeau's name, his nickname is Dead End. His yeah, the whole idea of trying to improve his reputation is really not working, it seems. He has this horrible, I like individually, not even just for the Spareds, they know him as Dead End. It's like this terrifying murderous guy. Right? So, oh god, not great. Not great at all. We get to see a whole bunch of different demons. It is interesting that, there's so many tribes of demons. All of them are so, like, not, like, human looking, whereas, like, the Miggards and the Spareds are, like, they're very human, right? Like, they basically just look human. I love Eris just grabbing Rudius's, like, hair thing. What's the word for it again? I don't remember, but it's right. Like, what is she doing? So Richard equals if you meet him, you die. Yeah, right. Richard could leap over the cliffs. What are we talking about, man? There's no way you could just leap over the cliffs, right? Like that is ridiculous, and that would not be a good idea. So Rudius sees this like blue moss stuff. I want to say that's probably what it is, something like that, to disguise Ruijerd as a member of the Miggard tribe instead. Yeah. Just waltz right in, huh? Hmm. So here we are. It's such a cool looking town. There's like these like cool symbols on the walls and stuff. Kind of reminds me of like those like cave painting looking symbols that were on the walls last episode when they first got to the demon continent. I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder if it's something to do with like the religion here or like I don't know. There's this weird crazy crystalline looking structure in the middle. Is this a building? I mean, it looks like a weird like crystal thing. You know what I mean? Like, is this a building or is this some kind of weird like crystal formation? I just have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. It's something. It's something. Hmm. But yeah, it's a very bustling place. The demon continent certainly seems like a very rough place to live in general, but yeah, there's still society, of course. There's still towns. Eris buys this like cat ear, it's the hoodie cloak thing, which sadly breaks in the episode. God, I forgot about that. We gotta talk about that. Her like horrible, violent reaction when that happens. Like that is not good, right? Like, I mean, I guess she's been like that. She's been like that with like Rudius. It's just different because she knows Rudius, right? Like they're, like it's just you can't do that with random strangers. At the same time, I'm sure the situation was, like, weird and uncomfortable, and it, like, wouldn't, but I think Eris's reaction was, like, not oh god, not good. Not good at all. So we head off to the Adventurers Guild. We gotta start making money, right? Rudius thinks about it later in the episode, but like the real difference between this job and like the one he got for like tutoring Eris and everything is like this is like a real job for survival, you know? When he's tutoring Eris, I mean, he was living in a mansion, and like I don't think he had to worry about basic survival or anything. Right now, he does, and he thinks about it himself. How he's never had to worry about money or just like this kind of basic thing before, which I don't know. It's certainly interesting. It's a very, I mean, it's a very privileged position to be in, I suppose. Something that's only possible in like our very recent modern society to exist in a world where you don't have to worry about those things every single day. And I mean, I think in the world Rudius is now in this world, that's probably not quite as common, right? Like people are still probably a lot of people in the demon continent got to think about that stuff like every day. Like, what are you gonna eat? What are you gonna? Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Interesting thing for Rudius to be faced with. So some of the weird like metal fragment things that Roxy's parents gave Rudius, I guess, was money, right? Weird money system, huh? There's like these different, I guess there's these weird like S-shaped ones. There's the triangle ones, then there's just these like weird pieces. And I guess those are the different kinds of money, I suppose, right? Like we're different values. I would bet, right? I don't know. I don't know. Interesting, I guess. Like different shapes. Because normally, like money we have, it's all like the same shape, I guess, is there advantages to having money like that? To have it all be like different, weird, very distinct shapes? Like probably, but I don't know. I don't know. Harder to counterfeit? Maybe, right? Maybe that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, here we are. Look at Eris. Like, what is she God. Rudius, what are you teaching her? His hair is not looking good. So we come in here and make a crazy fool out of ourselves. Just to introduce Rugierd so that everyone will just like laugh at him instead of being scared of him. Which, like, I guess going back to the whole thing we talked about at the start of the discussion about Rugierd's attitude about all of this, about like him trying to redeem the reputation of the spirits and everything. It's an interesting thing to think about, It's definitely not what Rugierd envisioned, right? Like, Rudius says this is a step in the right direction because instead of being terrified of him, they're just laughing at him. And I guess that's true. It just feels like that's not Rugierd's approach, right? Like, Rugierd, his whole, part of the reason for taking Rudius and Eris back and going on this long journey with them is because he said, that's, as a spare, that's what I should do, right? I wouldn't be forgiven if I abandoned these children. People would think less of me. It's like he has this very, I guess not like high and mighty. That's probably like the wrong phrase to use, but just this attitude about it that feels very, not approaching it like Rudius does. You know what I mean? Like he wants to redeem himself through like these very like noble actions. It feels right, and I wonder like, is that possible? Is that a better approach to take than what Rudius is doing? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. It definitely says something about Rugierd and Rudius and their approach towards this thing, but I'm just gonna have to see as we can continue going, I guess. Rugierd is so like muscular, it doesn't even make sense. Like, look at this guy. Like, this is ridiculous. His arms are as thick as Eris's head. So I'm like, what? Like, God, it's absurd. Anyway, they all laugh at him because he's got blue hair. Rudius gave him the Roxy talisman, of course. We got this receptionist who is Rudius. It's calm down, buddy. We start a new team, dead ends, go start at F rank. It's a very classic, like, adventurer guilds, Yeah, seems about right. Seems about right. We want to take some monster hunting jobs, because that, of course we can do that, right? I'm sure Rugierd could handle just about any of them, but... So, we meet this horse guy, which I don't really know what to think about him, I guess. I'm, like, scared of him, and he kind of intimidates me just because of, like, the music that's used and the general, like, attitude it feels like he has, but... I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with him as a character. Like where we're going with all this. Feels like kind of a bully, I suppose, but I don't know. You could if you wanted to be very like if you wanted to be very like not if you wanted to really give him the benefit of the doubt, you could say that he is actually has good intentions here. But I don't know. Like he sees this dumb kid walk in with someone who he claims is spared and all of this. He's like, they're just gonna go off and die if they take any job that isn't a lost cat job, you know. But I don't know. I don't know. It's very funny that he says that about finding a cat with his third eye, and Ruijerd actually does. Yeah, like this moment, right? Like this stupid frog guy sticking his leg out for Ruijerd. And Ruijerd just like stares at him and like intimidates him, you know, which that feels so contrary to what Ruijerd's trying to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting, I guess. Like what is going through Richard's head when he does that? Because you would think he wouldn't want to come across like that, you know? Because that feels contrary to like what he's trying to do for his reputation and stuff. Is acting like that in any way, you know? But I don't know. I don't know. I want to go slay a dragon already, girl. We're never slaying a dragon. I'm sorry. You will never do that. It's right. Like, there's no way. I guess I don't know what the power scaling is like. Could Ghislaine kill a dragon? Maybe, right? And I'm sure one day Eris can be that strong, but as God, it's maybe, maybe. Was that a success? We introduced you as Dead End, no one's afraid, they laughed. So I guess what we're first doing is chipping away at that attitude, that perception of the name Dead End, I suppose, but it's just gonna be such a slow process, you know? Leave it to me. We're pretending you're a Migard now. If we keep doing good deeds, it should improve the spirit's reputation. Rudy is saying leave it to me is interesting, combined with what Eris says later about, like, yeah, leaving everything to Rudius, or everything will just work out if they leave it all to him. When we get to that scene, we'll talk about it, I suppose. I don't know what to think about it exactly, like that the expectations placed on Rudius in that way, you know? How is Rudius like engaging with it? You know, like is Rudius thinking of it in like some transactional way? Like he has to do this to make up for Ruger's attitude towards him? I don't think Ruger would want to think of it like that, right? Ruger is trying to do these very like noble things that he thinks are just correct and he should do no matter what. No matter what, like, you know, Rudius does something for him in return or not. I don't really know what that means yet though, like where that's going, I guess. So we arrive at this inn. What is this guy like a bat almost? Kind of looks like that, right? With like the ears and stuff. I guess. I guess. This adventuring party walks up to Eris, speaking demon god. She does not speak that language. I mean, yeah, I guess it immediately kind of became an aggressive confrontation when I put her hand on Eris's shoulder. It is like, don't ignore me. It's like, I don't do that. The thing breaks, but then Eris just immediately goes into crazy beatdown mode, which just this can't be good, right? This can't be the right thing to do. It's, you know, like this is the first piece of clothing Rudy has ever bought me. Girl, that's I get it. It's right. I'm sure you were very uncomfortable in that situation and that made you sad, but we can't just start mercilessly beating people up instantly, right? Like that is not a good way to deal with your problems. I mean, I bet she's really on edge. We see that later with like the internal worries she has about like getting home and all of that. You know, she's probably putting on a strong front, but she probably does feel worried and uncomfortable and kind of on edge in the whole situation that's going on, right? She just tries to not show that. And maybe that's why she reacts so horribly violently immediately, you know? But man, girl, what are we doing? God. Like, and she's still like, girl, come on, please. Anyway, they want Rudius to join them, but not happening. I'm worried that something is going to happen to these three. Like, I don't know. They seem very ooh, I don't know. I'm worried they're gonna get themselves involved in something. You know. They seem kind of like Rudius's party in a way, right? Like or like Rudius's attitude, I guess, about his party. That whole like attitude he's putting on the Adventurers Guild. You know, them saying, "Oh, we're gonna be huge. We're so great." All of that. Yeah, they're the Tokurabu toughs. Someday we'll make this pose world famous. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, Rudius will fix it. He knows how to like sew, I guess, sew a button back on. I mean, that's probably not that hard, right? But I don't know. I don't know. We need money. Need money indeed. Need money sucks. Like, man, it's not fair. So we have another meeting with the man god. I guess my interpretation of the man god at this point, or not my interpretation, but just what I think he's doing, is just it feels like he's really trying to get Rudius to trust him, right? Like he's really trying to get him to like uncritically just believe him, right? Like giving him advice that does help him out and does lead him down towards whatever Rudius wants, right? It just feels like we're being led on a path here, right? That the man god is maybe not actively right now, right, trying to get Rudius to like do his bidding or something, but in the future, I just wonder like if Rudius gains like this trust and like this dependence on the man god, it would just take like one piece of bad advice, one piece of advice that what does something that the man god wants for whatever reason, and that might be all the man god needs, you know? Just it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary, you know. Hmm. Rudyard would have guarded us from the shadows, even if we'd run away. Right, right. Why don't you have some faith in me? You're a god and you don't know? Man, I mean, it seems like Viridius is so untrusting of him, but it'd probably be hard not to, right? To have this god meet you in your dreams and tell you this is what you should do. It would be so hard to not do it. To just be like, no, I will not do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I hate this feeling of this body. So just get this over with. How what the hell is that word? It's like ob I don't know. I don't even know I don't know how to pronounce it. An obsquicious, is that how you say it? Person is more likely to be a follower than a leader. Okay. Originally it just meant to serve, but over time it's become associated with the most objectionable kind of deferential people. Bootlickers, fawners, sycophants, and toadies. I I guess, I suppose. Is that what Rudius is doing? I get towards the man god? I don't know. I guess, I guess. You got me in the palm of your hand anyway. Oh, not at all. What you do is your choice. Like this wording from the man god is just it's interesting. It gives me that idea that like the man god has like no power himself, I suppose, right? That the only way he's able to like influence the world or something is like through this weird like dream thing, you know, to like influence people in this way and get them to trust him and tell them what to do, you know. Hmm. Rudius, accept that job to find a lost kitten. Do that and your worries will be at an end. Your worries will be at an end. Like that's such a vague like thing, right? Your worries will be at the end. What do we mean by that? You know, that's I don't know. I don't know. Weird. I feel like we haven't really seen like where that's leading us exactly. Like sure, it led us to the point we're at the end of the episode where we have a way to take higher level jobs and stuff, but your worries will be at an end. I don't know. That's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. Anyway, I really like this scene with Rudius and Eris. Hmm. Hey, Rudius, will we make it home? She's really worried about that, of course, right? What do you think Rudius thinks in that moment? I don't know. Like, does that for Rudius is that just more pressure on him to do this like for Eris to like you know like the way he was thinking about it last episode about being like this duty he has? Hmm. And again, it's like, what does he think about his family? You know, we'll make it, and Galen and grandfather will be fine, right? I'm sure they will be. I don't know. Will things ever be the same though? It feels like that's kind of the unsaid question in a way. And then this shot is interesting how she's like covered by the blinds, you know? It's like it creates like this separation or the curtains. Like, it creates like this separation between them. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it exactly. I just think it's interesting, I suppose. Like almost like Rudius's like Rudius reassuring her is like it's like just uh, putting a blanket on her or something, right? Like that he himself feels like it's just like shielding her from the real reality of the situation or something. I don't know. I don't know. I wonder how he feels about it. And I guess it's just the idea that I don't know if we're ever getting those days back. If the unanswered question here is like, will Ghislaine be okay, grandfather be okay, we'll just be able to head back and everything will be back to normal. I don't know if those days will ever return. Yeah. Hmm. Anyway, we walk through town, looking for the cat, using Rouger's third eye, of course. There's signs of a struggle here. What? It's where? I'm not seeing any. He's that experienced? Like he's that good? I don't know. Or is it with the third eye? I don't know. I don't know. We find the den down here. Down we go. Bunch of captured animals. So they've been running this like they've been kidnapping people's pets, and then when they put in the request, they just go turn them in. It's such a like man. It's very petty crime, frankly, right? Like it's not, Rougeau's reaction to it is so extreme. I mean, more so, I guess, his reaction to the guy kicking Rudius, but not even that you can blame him in a way, right? Like he's afraid they're gonna kill him, and then they do, you know? Yeah, yeah. So they ambush them. Very cool little, as Eris says, very cool like collaboration, cool teamwork. So Rudy tries to talk to them. They kick him, and then yeah, Rougerd cuts off his head instantly. Which like I don't know what to think about this, right? It's clear that in this world, death and killing and murder and all of that is much more commonplace, right? Like Eris takes Rudius' side, but she doesn't have the same reaction to it that Rudius has at all, right? She's just like, "Oh, you're making things harder," you know? She doesn't have like this visceral reaction to seeing that Rudius has, which like I don't know what to think about that. Like I agree with Rudius, right? That like this kind of killing and murder and stuff should not be commonplace and that is not a good thing, right? But I don't know. I don't know what else to think about the scene exactly, I suppose. Like, I think it's good that Rudius, like, I guess it's an interesting thing because it creates this separation, of course, between Rudius and the people in this world still, like the way that he views, like, this kind of, like, this basic, like, morality type thing, compared to them. Um, but I don't know. I don't know what to think of it exactly beyond that. Like, I think Rouge's decision to just kill this hostage immediately because of that is like, yeah, that's going way too far, right? Like way too much. You can't just do that. And like Rudyard saying it's like, oh, he's evil, so he just deserved to die. Like, what does Rudius think about that too? Like the way Rudius thinks about himself, the way I don't think Rudius thinks of himself as evil exactly, but I wonder if like the compassion and the understanding he has for that kind of thing, if it comes from like a similar place, is that in a way, obviously, on top of just his aversion for seeing murder, obviously. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, why not? That should be obvious, right? Hmm. Doesn't matter who you kill, just who killed them. I suppose. I mean, it's. I can kind of see both sides of it in a way, because if Rujo did go around and kill like horrible, terrible people, sort of, right? Then I don't know if that would weaken the spirit's reputation and make it worse. But this situation, I agree, right? I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I suppose. Hmm. Yeah, and it's like I was saying, Eris just says like he made it harder, but that's just not the point. That's just not the point, right? I don't want to be afraid of you. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. It's God. So now they know. Now they know about about Ruger's real identity. Like the look he gives them. Oh God, Ruger. Hmm. Villains, I knew it. So what was his plan? He was just gonna kill them? Like, there's no way, like, such an unfair thing? Like, I mean, again, it's like what Eric says in a moment about how he did something horrible too. Does he deserve to die, right? Like, no, right? Uh, yeah, yeah. Anyway, Rudy's comes up with this plan how they can rank up. They can switch jobs, right? So they can take like the monster slaying jobs. Yeah, yeah. And Rougeau doesn't like that. Does not like that indeed, which we've talked about this, but I just want to talk about like Eris's The stuff Eris says. Don't be absurd. I refuse to depend on villains such as these. Eris punches him and it just does nothing. Punches him with the hand that the ring is on, huh? I see, I see. Feels meaningful, feels meaningful. I don't like villains. Why do you complain all the time? He's doing all this for me and you. And this is what I mean, how like, Rudius's face is like hidden during all of this, right? He's like kind of looking down as Eris is saying, like, oh, Rudius is doing all of this for us and all this stuff about how if we just listen to him, everything will work out. Like, what are Rudius's thoughts on that? How does Rudius feel about that? Hearing someone say that about him and stuff, Like, it's interesting because it kind of feels like, it feels like Rudius maybe is doing a similar thing to Ruijerd. How Ruijerd feels like the only way to improve his reputation is to do these like noble acts of good and all of this, fight against evil, and surely with time people will view him as someone who's great and all of that. Whereas Rudius's approach towards it is no, you need to like people need to see you and just not be terrified of you, right? It's like this much more personal thing. And I think that kind of makes more sense, right? Whereas for Rudius, the standard he's applying to himself, like this duty that he feels like he has to bring Eris back, the way that Eris said that he's doing all this stuff for other people, and all of that, it feels like Rudius is kind of doing a similar thing, where it's like to see himself as a good person and to see himself as someone who has changed. The things that he thinks are expected of him are that kind of transactional idea of what a relationship is, right? Like he has to do these like good things for the people in his life, for other people, for them to see him as, the kind of person he wants to be, I suppose, right? Which I guess I just think like that makes sense, right? Like people want to do things for the people they care about. I just think tying all of that to your own self-image, right? Thinking that Rudius thinking he needs to do stuff like that for other people, like the way he thinks about his relationship with Ruijerd, how he has to do this to pay him back, basically, right? I think that's like a trap he's kind of fallen into. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like betrays this idea that that Rudius thinks that like through his own actions, through his own attitude and stuff, that he won't that like what people will just automatically not think good things about him and think less of him, right? Like at the same time, obviously he has done good things and has had an impact on like Eris. That's why she likes him, right? That's why she thinks so highly of him and all of that. I think there's like this separation, I guess, between that, I guess, and like the way that Rudius views himself and like his self-image, And it's I don't know, it's like a complicated thing, I guess, right? What I mean, I suppose, is like if Rudius feels like he has to be doing stuff constantly to prove himself to like the people around him, to like to do all of these things to allow Eris to rely on him and everything will work out fine and all of that. That's like not I don't think that's good. I don't think that's a great thing. Because I would want him to be able to be like comfortable in his relationship and in his own self-image and the way that other people view him and not feel like he's like walking on eggshells or something. But that's probably hard to do. It's going to be really hard for him to ever see himself as changed. So, yeah, yeah. But evil is evil. Didn't you do bad things a long time ago? And I think that's why Ruijerd has this attitude. Leave it to him and everything will work out. And just look at Rudius's face, right? Like, I swear to God, it's like stuff like that that's going through his head. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. But, and then this shot in the mirror, like, I don't know. I don't know. It feels like there's so much to that scene. There's so much to it. There has to be. There has to be. Anyway, we get our day's earnings. We get our like, I don't know, $1 or something. And yeah, we're switching jobs with them so we can go do the monster hunting job. Uh Through the process of that, they're gonna spread the name of Dead End to try and improve the reputation and all of that. Right, right. And then this guy, horse guy, walks out, asking what's going on with the situation here. Loman's dead, sadly, but he kind of, I don't know, worried about him being on to us, right? That's the issue here. Hmm. don't know. I don't know. Just feels like who knows? Who knows where we're going with all that, I guess. Kind of an abrupt end to the episode. Couldn't tell you. Just couldn't tell you. Well, I like that episode. I like that episode quite a bit. I'm, hmm. Probably like that, just that scene with Ruijerd is just like the most I've wanted to think about a scene, and I feel like I haven't. I think there's so much to it still that I just like haven't uncovered, you know. So again, if there's anything you guys think about that scene that's like interesting to you, tell me, I guess. Put down in the comments. So, I suppose that's it. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.